This week on Outdoor Oklahoma, we head to Canton Lake for a little walleye action and also find out what locals are doing to improve the already great fishing opportunities at Canton. From the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, Outdoor Oklahoma. Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead. Canton Lake in northwest Oklahoma is known for many things, and great walleye fishing has to be right there at the top of that list. Despite the fact that western Oklahoma has been in a prolonged drought for several years now, there's still a lot of great fishing to be had at Canton. Today we're going to travel along with a group of guys from the Canton Lake Association and find out just why, again, Canton is such a great fishing destination. We'll also find out what the association is doing to help keep it that way.
What we're on right here is a hump. Goes from maybe 12 to on the top of it, 3 to 4 feet. So what we're going to do is anchor up right on the edge or on top of that hump.
How much you got left?
Quite a little bit. Got a knot, but that's okay. But you can see right here, that outline. This is a hump. This is a submerged island. So right there's where we are. We're kind of right on the edge of it in 3 foot of water. And so out in here below there, you're gonna have, 10, 12 foot of water. So this is a submerged island. And the walleye orientate towards these submerged islands out here just in the middle of the lake. This time of year, the walleye fishing is generally pretty good. Over submerged humps and islands out in the center part of the lake. And we fish with leeches and night crawlers, just anchored up and casting out over on that hump and dragging it slowly back. Well, one thing that's interesting about this, the most unique thing, is this line right here is floats. It's made by P-Line. It's called HydroFloat line. So you can cast out and you don't have that drag on your line. It'll just float right on top. And then we've got the bobber stopper there, a slip cork with a little bit of a weight on it. You can choose any color jig you want. That I make these tails. That one happens to be red and yellow, red head. So I'll just cast it out there and kind of jig it, and be pretty good if you can see a cork go under, or at least slide sideways. Tip it with a crawler, half a crawler. Just like that right there. Yeah, up here on top of this island, it's about 3 foot deep. And I'll just let it kind of float with the current, with the waves, kind of jig it a little bit.
I got him.
Keeper.
If you want to get these walleye in the boat, you got to have a net. They'll either flip off, or the line you're using is so light that it'll bust off, and there goes your fish. That was my first cast.
Well, I'm wanting to get him get the cork go under for him, but it may not be the right technique. We're pretty much centered on that hump, aren't we, Kurt?
Yeah, we may be a little too far in, but We're not on the drop off. Just let it down until it hits bottom, raise it up about 3 inches, and just catch them.
Kurt!
What?
Slow down.
Slow down for what? And when I know they're not very big, not big enough, then I just jerk them in. Sometimes you lose a 50-cent jig head that way, but to me it's a challenge to catch them, and bass fishing is a lot easier to me than walleye fishing. So I'd rather walleye fish than bass fish. Plus I'd rather fish on a lake than at a pond. Of course, you can catch largemouth bass here.
You know, you would think that, you know, you hear about walleye and their sensitive eyes and all that, you know, they would bite better at night or in the evening, and that's not really the case. I'm going to have to change tactics. The technique that we used primarily was a little bit like a drift technique, except we were anchored up and we were providing movement on that bait by slowly reeling it across the bottom, using a weight with a leader with the floating jig head up, tipped with a night crawler or worm. It's pretty effective. It was real windy today, so we had to anchor up a little bit, but we were simulating drifting by dragging the bait across the bottom. Walleye fishery here, you know, it's 18-inch length limit, but you can catch keepers, and they make fantastic table fare, rivaling crappie. They're usually a little bit thicker fillet than crappie, but you can't beat walleye for table fare. I think there are so many shad in here. As a matter of fact, John Stahl has said that Canton Lake per area is the most productive gizzard shad lake in the state. But I think there are so many shad in here, and there's a fish right there on a leech. Good one. Oh. Okay. That one was on a leech.
That's just the luck of the draw, that keeper deal. You know, we could have catfished there all day and not caught one, but I've been right there for the last 3 weeks, and before I deleted all the marks off my depth finder, I knew right where I was supposed to be going. But now I got some work to do. We went out about 9:15 and anchored up on the edge of this drop off, and found the fish right off the bat, and I think we ended up with 45 or 50 fish, and I think I caught more than Jeff did.
Comparatively, I didn't do quite so well. I probably caught 10 or 12 fish. Kurt, he probably caught 25 or 30 fish, but I had a good time.
When the lake is down real low level like it is right now, I've got some friends that have local businesses here, and their business is probably a third of what it would be if the lake was at normal pool and everything was back the way it used to be. It doesn't really affect me that much, but it does affect all the businesses around the lake, and probably the businesses from surrounding towns, grocery stores and quick stops, that people would stock up on supplies as they were coming toward the lake.
A silver lining to the drought is that locals at Canton Lake, along with the department's fisheries division, are taking advantage of this situation to improve future fishing conditions while the lake is low.
Basically what we're doing here, we're taking advantage of the low lake level here at Canton to put in fish habitat, which the Fisheries Division really likes these, what they call tarantula blocks, the orange pipes that you see behind me. You basically dig a hole and you put these pipes in and then put some saccharine in it. It's real good fish habitat, it's real easy on boats. You won't get hung up on it, you just come right off of it. And so while this is down, we need to take advantage of it to improve the lake. Probably going to have close to 300 of them scattered along kind of the north and west side of the lake. We focused on areas where there were old boat ramps that were used long ago when the lake was first being built. That's great fish habitat within itself, but you put the tarantula blocks around it and it becomes that much better. So we've scattered them around old boat ramps, little holes out here on the north side, sloughs, things of that nature. Should be great fish attractors going forward. Yeah, it certainly is a group effort. We've got the Canton Lake Association and some of our board members and membership, and we're partnering with the Fisheries Division, John Stahl. We've got some fisheries guys over from Holdenville that are helping us today, and just volunteers from the local Canton community. There was a couple that came down from Woodward. We put it out on Facebook and we've had a great response. We've probably got 30 volunteers to put out the 300 tarantula blocks. We've been struggling up here with the low lake level, and we're doing this to improve the lake going forward, and hopefully when we do get some runoff rain and some flooding going on out here, we'll get this lake filled up, cover these blocks, and have a more brighter future up here at Canton. Yeah, we as the association have done our best via social media to get it out of some of the lake improvement projects that we've been doing. We've extended boat ramps, we've cleaned out silt in front of boat ramps to make the lake usable. That was kind of the first thing, is to get the lake usable. And then now we're transitioning more towards habitat improvement going forward. So.
We'll visit more with the Canton Lake Association right after this week's Outdoor News Report. One of my biggest pet peeves is the misuse of the words conservation and preservation. Now, we teach in our hunter education courses that conservation is the wise use of a natural resource. If we're just smart with our choices, we can still enjoy our natural resources without having to completely shut down opportunities.
I think the conservation aspect is extremely important. Water is becoming more precious all the time. It's become really evident in this drought that we're currently mired in, and even though we've gotten some real good rains here lately, the drought persists, particularly here in western Oklahoma. And I think it's not only important for metro area residents, but residents across the state to begin to treat water as a precious resource. I personally feel at some point the access to water is going to be just as important as access to petroleum and gasoline and things that we use now.
He won't even make 17.
Particularly during this drought period, that we really need to pay attention to what we're doing with water, as far as maybe using excess water. Canton Lake has been subject to 3 releases that have gone down to Lake Hefner and Overholser. And it's really put a lot of pressure on this lake. Getting ready to go back to the front of the boat.
This hole's pretty good.
I'm gonna go back to the front. Maybe it'll change my luck.
That one there may go.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be too short. Easy, dude. Yep, ½ inch.
I think that there's a lot of little things that can be done from a water conservation standpoint within the home. You know, brushing your teeth and letting the water run, you know, while you're brushing your teeth. You can always turn it off, brush, turn the water back off. That's a little thing, you know, that if you look at that across 1 million to 1.5 million people, that's a tremendous amount of water. You know, if you have a leaky toilet within the house, you know, fix that leaky toilet. Don't let it run all the time. Because those things are far-reaching. The way that the water distribution system is for Oklahoma City, it's all based on surface water and extends all the way from northwest Oklahoma to southeast Oklahoma, all the way across the state. So those little conservation efforts within the home can affect Canton Lake, can affect McGee Creek, and when Sardis comes online. It's a lot more far-reaching than people really tend to realize.
I don't know what this is, but we're gonna probably need a net. I see a keeper walleye that I don't want to lose. And just like that, that hook come out of him. But he's in the net safely. Where's my board, Jeffrey? How much you want to bet? Oh my God, Jeffrey. 17 and 15/16.
Is he really?
It's about like yours.
Did you stretching the tail? Boy, I'll tell you what.
Well, if you have fish that aren't 18 inches when you get back to the dock, or if a ranger checks you while you're on the lake, and he gets to write you a ticket for every one of them you got that's not 18 inches long, or at least 18 inches long. And I don't want to have to pay one of those tickets, so I just keep throwing them back if they're not 18.
He's bigger than a pickle. Be a cucumber. I've probably drank plenty of fish slime. There's actually 2 strains of walleye in here. This one's probably 17, 16 and a half, 17. Nice fish. Okay. Oh, there he goes.
It's an inch too short.
That's a pretty nice one. A 17-incher.
You want to use extreme caution when you take these off the hook, because their teeth are very sharp and their gill plates will cut you if they happen to hit you. That one's sharp. That one's not as bad, but this one here is really sharp. Anyway, I got plenty of scars from them. We fished. I fished till I got tired, and then decided it was time to go get some Mexican food.
Well, as you can see, the fishing at Canton Lake is as good as ever. And with the help of the Canton Lake Association, well, the future looks to be even better. Hey, we invite you to join in on our conservation conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram. For all of us at your wildlife department, thanks for joining us. We'll see you right here next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.